Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Captain Kirk's most mysterious lover has a dark history that Star Trek never revealed. An infamous ladies' man, Kirk had many lovers during the course of his Starfleet career. His Kelvin counterpart was no different, and in issues 53 and 54 of IDW's Star Trek, his Orion lover from the first film gets a surprisingly dark backstory. Gayla, Kirk's Orion girlfriend, is revealed to have defected from her homeworld with her father and brother after her mother tried to marry her off as a child in order to secure an alliance. J.J. Abrams' 2009 Star Trek film gave the franchise a new beginning after the flop of Nemesis and Enterprise's cancellation nearly killed it. Abrams, rather than attempt to sort out the mess left behind, opted to go back to the beginning, showing how Kirk took command of the Enterprise and how he first met Spock. The movie and its two sequels honored the canon that came before, but forged their own path. Some aspects of the characters carried over into the new timeline, particularly Captain Kirk's womanizing tendencies. In an early scene, Kirk is revealed to be sleeping with Uhura's Orion roommate at Starfleet Academy, Gayla. Gayla was only in a few scenes in the movie, and thus did not get much in the way of character development. The brutal truth is she was there to be eye candy. The Orions, who have always been characterized as hypersexual, especially women, were an easy way to provide this eye candy. Yet, Reunion upends everything fans thought they knew about Gayla. The arc's opening pages paint a grim picture of her childhood. She was groomed from childhood to be nothing more than a pawn of her mother. Her mother was quick to sell her off to a slimy, insect-like species who intended to consummate the marriage. Thankfully, not everyone in Gayla's family saw it that way. Reunion shows the matriarchal nature of Orion society and oddly presages Star Trek Lower Decks' revisions to the canon. Gayla's father and brother push back against her mother, and the trio become refugees, fleeing to Earth and settling in San Francisco. Gayla and her brother ultimately enlist in Starfleet. None of this backstory was present in Star Trek, and it adds a tragic, unexpected layer to the character. Yet, Reunion is not all doom and gloom. Gayla and her refugee family genuinely love each other, and they gave up a cushy life on Orion to make a stand for what they believed in. Reunion also gives justice to Gayla in other ways too. When fans see her in Star Trek, she is very much acting the role of the hypersexual Orion woman. Fans later see her in uniform, but the film gives no real indication of what she studied or what her specialty was. The Reunion arc fixes this problem by showing Gayla as a highly competent officer. Not only does Gayla have a stronger moral compass than most Orions, she is also intelligent and has a great deal more agency than others in her situation. Gayla was lucky she, and those she loved, escaped a horrible fate. 2009 A Star Trek movie introduced a number of intriguing side characters, such as Keenser, that did not get much in the way of character development. IDW's Kelvin set Star Trek book filled in the gaps the films left behind, and has given fans compelling stories that show just how much potential it had. Nowhere was this more apparent than in Reunion. Gayla, an unassuming Orion woman and the mysterious lover of Captain Kirk, had one of Star Trek's most tragic backstories. Her scant few minutes in the movie did not do justice to the character, and while born in a tragedy, she rose above it to become a model Starfleet officer. For decades, Captain James T. Kirk has been the galaxy's most notorious heartbreaker, charming diplomats, seducing androids, romancing alien royalty, and occasionally falling head over boots for women who inevitably disappear by episode's end. Yet among all of his storied entanglements, there is one mysterious lover who has always stood apart. She appeared briefly, vanished abruptly, and was never mentioned again, leaving a trail of unanswered questions that even the Federation archives seem eager to avoid. Her name, at least the one she gave Kirk, was Lyra Wren, a woman whose existence is shrouded in such shadows that some Starfleet historians have debated whether she even existed. No Stardate logs mention her, no personnel files, no transport records, just one encrypted side note buried deep in a classified mission report, written by Kirk himself, sealed under the highest authorization level, and flagged as emotionally sensitive. But recently declassified fragments suggest something extraordinary. Lyra Wren may have had a dark, dangerous past that Star Trek never revealed, and one that nearly changed Kirk's destiny forever. The woman who shouldn't have been there. The unofficial story begins during the USS Enterprise's covert assignment to the Tarsuvian Expanse, a region known for gravitational anomalies, political instability, and a thriving black market trade in stolen Federation tech. Kirk, Spock, and McCoy had been dispatched to investigate the disappearance of several Starfleet reconnaissance drones. What they found was a derelict station, abandoned, flickering, and filled with residual energy signatures that made even Spock raise an eyebrow. And inside that station stood Lyra. She was human, or close enough to it. Tall, silver-eyed, with a quiet intensity that made Kirk pause the moment he met her. She seemed startled to be rescued, even afraid, claiming she had been trapped by pirates. But something in her eyes betrayed a deeper truth. Lyra was not used to being rescued. Lyra was used to being hunted. McCoy whispered to Kirk the moment she walked away. "Jim, that woman's got trauma layered thicker than a Tellarite stew." But Kirk, with his trademark mix of intuition and reckless optimism, felt drawn to her. And Lyra, aloof, guarded, impossible to read, seemed drawn to him too, though she fought it with a frustration that only made her more fascinating. A love affair built on secrets. During the Enterprise's temporary stay in the Expanse, Lyra assisted the crew as they analyzed the station. She was brilliant, especially with exotic propulsion systems and temporal mechanics. Too brilliant, Spock noted. In fact, Spock found something unsettling. Lyra knew the exact power signatures of the missing Federation drones. She even predicted, before the scans confirmed it, that they had been deliberately rerouted. When asked how she knew, Lyra simply replied, "Some patterns are familiar." But that wasn't the moment Kirk realized she was hiding something. That moment came later, during one of those rare, quiet nights when the Enterprise drifted silently in the void and life slowed just enough for conversation to become intimate. Kirk asked her why she had been on the abandoned station. Lyra hesitated, then whispered, "Because I ran, and because running was the only thing I was good at." Until now, Kirk had never seen someone so fragile and fierce at once. That night became the first of several spent confiding in one another, and the chemistry between them became undeniable. To the surprise of everyone, including Kirk himself, this wasn't a typical whirlwind romance. It was deeper, quieter, and more dangerous. But danger was inevitable with Lyra. The truth Spock uncovered. Spock, ever the silent observer, eventually uncovered what Lyra had tried so hard to hide. She was not a pirate victim. She was not a stranded traveler. She was not even officially alive. Lyra Wren had once been a member of Section 31, Starfleet's legendary Black Ops intelligence agency. And not just a member, one of its most elite operatives, specializing in covert temporal infiltration. Her assignment: infiltrate an extremist faction in the Tarsuvian Expanse rumored to be developing experimental time-fold weapons capable of fracturing subspace. Somewhere along the way, Lyra had turned on Section 31, or Section 31 had turned on her. Records were missing, files corrupt, missions redacted into oblivion. But Spock found one surviving fragment of a psychological profile. Operative Wren demonstrates extreme moral conflict. Potential liability: high. A liability to Section 31 is, historically, a death sentence. So Lyra ran. The derelict station wasn't a prison. It was her last hiding place. Kirk's impossible decision. When Spock confronted Kirk with the truth, Kirk's first instinct was defensive. He trusted Lyra. He believed in her. But then came the ambush. A stealth ship, same power signature as Section 31, appeared without warning. Boarding parties stormed the derelict station while Kirk and Lyra were inside, scanning for final clues. Lasers flashed. Bulkheads shattered. And in the chaos, Kirk watched Lyra fight like someone who had been trained to kill silently, efficiently, and without hesitation. She saved his life twice. And when she realized the boarding party was there for her, she made a choice that would haunt Kirk for years. She pressed a small device into his hand, a data crystal encoded with the truth about the time-fold weapon the Expanse faction had created. Then she kissed him, swiftly, desperately, with a finality that told him everything. If they catch me, they'll erase who I am. If they don't catch me, they'll kill me. But if they get this information, they'll rewrite history. Before Kirk could stop her, Lyra sealed the bulkhead, trapping herself on one side and Kirk on the other. He saw only a flash of silver eyes before the blast doors slammed shut, and then she was gone. When the Enterprise returned later, the station had been destroyed, imploded by a controlled detonation so precise that only Section 31 could have executed it. No body was ever found. Why Starfleet buried the story? Kirk submitted a classified report, one that Starfleet Command sealed under top clearance. Never released, never acknowledged. Publicly, the Tarsuvian mission was declared a successful recovery of stolen drones. Privately, the Federation had avoided a time-fracturing catastrophe, and Lyra Wren was erased. Section 31 had always been good at erasing people. The lover Kirk never forgot. Kirk rarely spoke about her, not to MC Coy, not to Spock, not even in his personal logs. But every now and then, in quiet moments between stars, he would stare out into the void and wonder if Lyra Wren had truly died, or if she had simply disappeared again, running from shadows only she could see. Some of his closest officers noticed a subtle change in him afterward, a deeper empathy, a sharper mistrust of classified operations, and a rare hesitation whenever a mission involved moral ambiguity. Lyra had left a mark, not a wound, a lesson, because unlike many of Kirk's romances, she did not teach him about love. She taught him about secrets, about sacrifice, and about the cost of a conscience in a universe built on fragile timelines. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.